Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today. It is a beautiful but chilly day today, and I figured it would be a good time to make my grandfather's Chuckwagon chili. Now, my grandfather was a cattle farmer, my great-grandfather was a cattle farmer, so on and so forth, and this is on my dad's side. So he come from a long line of cattle farmers. And my mother's side is a long line of Native American. So growing up, we had a fun little mashup of all things cowboy Native American food, which consisted of a lot of beans, fresh fruits, vegetables, cornbreads, things like that. And this was one of the recipes that my father made a lot of during, like the winter months, because it's really hearty. A really hearty chili. Now, everything to this recipe is 100% original, with the exception of ground beef. I added the ground beef because I thought it just needed a little bit more meat to it, because I like a lot of meat in chilies. Now, I know a lot of people don't like beans in their chili. You can certainly leave those out and just add more beef, and that will work out just fine. But this is a fun little recipe that I wanted to share with you guys, and I was in the mood for some chili, so I think I've got everything ready to go. I've got my Dutch oven cast iron pan back here. She's ready to go. I've got to get her preheating. I'm going to make some roll biscuits to go with this. Now, my mother always made roll biscuits to go with this when she made it. My dad would either serve it with either crackers or cornbread or flatbreads, like the little Native American flatbreads, because my mother taught him how to make those. So, whatever you want to serve this with, it will be just absolutely delicious. So let's go over all of the ingredients and we'll get this chili going. Okay guys, so this is everything you're gonna need. It's very simple, but it's absolutely delicious. When people were out on wagon trains back in the early 1900s and back, they carried with them a lot of beans, jerkies, stewed tomatoes, anything like flours, cornmeal, stuff like that. Anything that they could preserve on the wagon train, that's what they took with them. So for this recipe, this is all you're going to need. I've got some plain jerky here. This is not flavored, this is just plain beef jerky, and I've just got it cut up into little strips, and this is going to cook down and taste absolutely delicious. I've got 2 cans of beans here. You can use chili beans, you can use kidney beans, red beans, black beans, white beans, whatever kind of bean you have on hand, it will work in this. Now, my grandmother, she always kept canned tomatoes on hand all the time. So my grandfather always took those out on cattle drives with him. So we've got some diced tomatoes and some crushed tomatoes, but you can do 2 diced, you can do just plain crushed, whatever you want or have on hand, fine. I've got some onion that I've got diced up, some ground beef, a jalapeno, chili powder, cumin, garlic powder, hot sauce, salt and pepper, and coffee. My grandfather always took coffee with him out on his cattle drives, and he always threw it in all of the recipes that he would make, like beans or chilies. So I've got some of that, some just regular brewed coffee. You can use leftover coffee from the morning, or you can do like instant coffee and some hot water, and that will work just fine. So this is all you're going to need. Let's go over to the stove and get started. Okay guys, so I've got my Dutch oven here, and it's over medium-low heat. I don't want this to be too high because this is going to cook for a very long time. Well, I shouldn't say a very long time, about 40 to 45 minutes, depending on how much liquid you have in your chili. So, since my ground beef is organic grass-fed beef, and it really doesn't have a lot of oil, I'm going to add just a tiny bit, maybe about a teaspoon of oil. And I'm going to get me a spoon here. And I'm going to add in my beef. And we're going to break this up and get this beef going. Now, if you hear anything in the background, my dogs, they are loving this weather, so they're in and out today. So what you're hearing is the doggy door. So we've got that in there. I'm going to go ahead and add in my onion. And my jalapeno. Now, this was a massive jalapeno, and it will add tons of heat and flavor. But if you don't like jalapenos, or if you don't have any, you can certainly leave it out. I almost always have some form of jalapenos in this house because we love spicy food. I'm going to turn my heat up to medium so we can get this mixture nice and browned and cooked through, and those onions tender. But like I was saying, if you don't have jalapenos, you can certainly leave them out. You can do red pepper flakes, you can do cayenne, just whatever you have on hand for heat. So I don't like to season my beef at this moment. I just like to have the beef flavor come out. So we will season the beef when it gets nice and cooked through. So I'm just going to babysit this beef here until it's nice and cooked through and the onions are nice and tender, and then I'll meet you guys right back here and we will add everything else to this delicious old-fashioned chili. Okay guys, my beef is pretty much cooked through and my onions are tender. So now what we're going to do is add in our seasoning and our beef jerky. You can add as much as you want. I usually just do a packet of beef jerky because when they were out on wagon trains, that's pretty much all they had. They didn't carry fresh ground meat with them out, out on the cattle drives. I'm going to add in my cumin and my chili powder and garlic powder and some salt and pepper. Now, as you guys know, I love pepper, so you can add as much or as little as you want. We will add some more later, probably, depending. We'll check the seasonings in a little bit. So we're just going to add some salt, a little bit of that. And we're going to let this toast up for, I don't know, about a minute or two. Just until we can smell those nice aromas of the spices. Okay, now we're going to add in the remaining of our ingredients, except for the beans. So I'm going to add in all of my tomatoes right into the pot. And there we go. and my crushed tomatoes. Right in there. Oh, we still got some down there at the bottom. Okay. Hot sauce. You can add as much or as little as you want. Like I said, we love heat in this house, so we can take it. I would start with the jalapenos first. Maybe do a quarter of a jalapeno if you're not used to heat, and then work your way up from there. Now that I've got all of that mixed in, I'm going to add in my coffee. It can be cold coffee, hot coffee, it really doesn't matter. Got that all in there, and it smells so good already. And this has got to cook for about 40 to 45 minutes. Now, my grandfather's instructions on his recipe is if you cannot stand a spoon into your chili without it falling over, it's not ready yet. Keep cooking it. But I'm going to say you cook it to the consistency that you like your chili. Now, I always follow my grandfather's instructions because we like thick chili. So we're going to cook this for about 40 to 45 minutes. And at that point, I will do the spoon test. And if it's ready, we'll add the beans. So I'm just going to let this hang out here. Let it cook. And then I will meet you guys back here. In the meantime, I'm going to make some old-fashioned roll biscuits. I will show you those when those are done. I might put the recipe up on my blog and make a video on it. Maybe sometimes in the near future. Just let me know and then I can get that out for you guys. So I'm going to let this do its thing and I'll meet you right back here. Okay guys, so my chili has been cooking for about 40-ish minutes, and I'm going to show you how to stir chili. Now, a lot of people would come in and just go to town like this. I was taught to stir chili like this. You stick your spoon on the side and push towards the center, and it releases those air bubbles, and you won't have as much splatter on your stove. So just stick your spoon on the side, go all the way down to the bottom, push toward the center, and it releases all of the stuck-on bits on the bottom if there's any. If you go in and stir like this, you risk the splatter. So just be careful when you go to stir chili. So I've got that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my beans. Now, I wait to add in my beans until the last 5 minutes of cooking, so that way I don't risk the beans getting smushed. So I'm just going to gently stir these in, mix them around a bit. And when I brought this up to a boil or a slight bubble, I turned the heat down to low and then I just let it do its thing for about 40 minutes. I come in and mixed it up every once in a while and just let it cook for the 40 to 45 minutes. And it is pretty thick, so we're going to do the spoon test. Hopefully it's thick enough. And your spoon should stick up straight like this. And that's when you know your chili is ready to go. So I'm going to give this a taste and add more salt and pepper if I need to. I've got my roll biscuits back here. They just come out of the oven, nice and pretty. So I'm going to serve that alongside the chili. And I will meet you back here when we get it plated up. Okay guys, so I've got my chili in my little bowl here, and I've just got some sides here. You can top this however you want. You can do sour cream and green onion, cheese, you can do Mexican table cream. What I've got here is I've got some cheddar cheese, some queso fresco, I've got some Mexican table cream here. It's really, really good. And I've also got my fermented salsa. This is so delicious. I might put this up on my blog. I'm not sure yet. Still contemplating that. But this is my fermented salsa. So I'm just going to top this with a little bit of each because why not? So I'm going to add a little bit of cheese there to the top. A little bit of some queso fresco because it's pretty. And it tastes really, really good. And let's see, let's do some salsa. If you've never tried fermented salsa, it is so good. And I just love it with chips. I love to put it on anything. It's just that good. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on top. It's got a beautiful, beautiful flavor. Okay. And I'm going to add just a tiny, tiny bit of this cream. Now this does not taste like sour cream. So this tastes more like cream. It's a very, very thick cream. So if you want to have that sour cream flavor, I would opt for sour cream. But this is just absolutely delicious. On top. And it's very, very thick. So that is what it looks like. Looks so delicious. You can top this with some cilantro or parsley if you're not a cilantro fan. It will be absolutely delicious. So we're going to go enjoy some dinner. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my grandfather's Chuckwagon chili. I know we do. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I post every Monday and Thursday at 7 a.m. And if you want this recipe or any of my other recipes, you can click the link in the description box below for my blog. It's also pinned in the comment section, so you can just click that there. It'll take you right to my blog. Type in the search bar whatever recipe that I have. It's easily searchable. You can print it off and give it a try. So yeah, you guys, we're going to go enjoy some of this delicious chili, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.